Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of December. Happy December. I miss all of you guys. And the first thing we're going to do today is our Making Meaning. I'm going to introduce a new story for you today. Today we're going to be learning how to discuss discussion prompts, how to use them to build on one another's thinking. We're going to hear and discuss a story, answer questions about key details, and use examples from the story to support our thinking. And then if you could read independently at home, if you have some books, if you'll just read independently at home and use some of these prompts that we are learning in class. Okay. Discussion prompts are something that if you're reading a story and someone else is listening with you, like if we're in a class setting, you might have a different opinion or think something that they're not thinking, which is really good to share because it gets us to see different perspectives. In a reading community, it's important for everyone to listen carefully and contribute ideas during class discussion. And today we're going to learn discussion prompts or sentence starters that we can use to share ideas with each other and our classmates. So the discussion prompts we're going to learn today are: I agree with because, I disagree with because, in addition to what they said, I think. So if you're listening to a story and someone doesn't agree with me, they could say, I don't agree with Mrs. Cox because, and maybe point out a part of the story that makes them think differently. It doesn't mean I'm wrong or they're wrong. It's just kind of what we're thinking. So those are going to be the prompts. I agree with because, I disagree with because, in addition to what they said. Now, this is going to work when we're in a classroom setting with other people. I know you guys are alone at home, without your classmates, but this is just something that you can think about that we're going to be doing in class. I'm going to introduce our new story for the week. It's called Baboo's Song. And I'm going to read aloud the story for you. And it is written by Stephanie Stuve-Bodine, and it is illustrated by Aaron Boyd. I see a young boy and I see an older man, possibly a grandpa. Let's see what the story is about. In addition to visualizing that we've been learning this week, we've also been making connections with our own lives and to other books. So let's see what we think about this. And here's the back of the book. Okay, Baboo's Song. Bernardi ran hard, kicking the ball toward the goal, his arms pumping and his heart racing. He didn't care that he was the only boy on the field not wearing a school uniform. He loved soccer, and his one concern was making a goal. With a final kick so powerful that it knocked him on his back, Bernardi sent the ball flying past the goalie and into the net. Bernardi laid on the ground, catching his breath. A boy helped him up, then ran after the others going into the school. Bernardi wished he could go to school like the other children. He liked to learn and thought he could be a good student. Besides, then, he could play soccer every day, not just when the schoolboys needed an extra player. Bernardi lived with his grandfather, Baboo, and they did not have enough money for school. Slowly, Bernardi walked home. So far, what I see in this story is Babu is the grandpa. I think they're from another country. Babu is not what we call our grandparents. And Bernardi is not a name that we hear a lot of. So I'm wondering where they're from. Maybe we'll see in our story. There's Bernardi. And if you'll see, he's the only one not in the school uniform. Can you see that? What do you know about Bernardi and Babu right now? Bernardi's probably the grandson. Babu's probably the grandpa. And so far, we know that he doesn't go to school. And just in the first page, we know he doesn't go to school. He loves soccer and he loves to learn. But they don't have a lot of money because I guess it costs for them to go to school. Let's read on. When Bernardi walked in, Babu gave him a hug. This was how he said hello, because an illness had taken his voice a long time ago. Hello, Babu, Bernardi said. I made a goal today. Bernardi loved telling Babu his soccer stories. Babu held up a figure made of wood. He pulled a string, and the figure's jointed arms and legs popped up and down, making Bernardi laugh. Babu was a toy maker. He had only to look at an object and he knew what toy it would become, such as an airplane from a tin can or a whistle from a scrap of wood. After Babu made his toys, Bernardi would sell them. Together, they would make enough money to live on. Here is Babu with his creation. Babu made tea for Bernardi and himself. After they finished, Bernardi took an old bag from beside the door, waved goodbye to Babu, and set off for the market. As he walked, Bernardi hummed a tune. It was a song that Babu had sung when he had his voice. Humming it made Bernardi wish Babu could still speak. He's going off to the market, and Babu is waving goodbye. Look at the beautiful illustrations. I mean, you could just picture yourself there. Anything for Babu? Bernardi asked the vendors when he reached the market. The vendors gave Bernardi bits of string or paper, anything that Babu might be able to use to make his toys. Mama Valentina, who sold salt, called to Bernardi. She handed him a plastic gunny sack. Bernardi thanked her as he stuffed it into his bag, even though he didn't think Babu could use it. I'm going to stop here for a second. Let me go ahead and show you the illustrations from the book that I've already read. I'm going to discuss some vocabulary that has come up in the past couple of pages. A figure is a toy shaped like a person's body. And set off for means started walking towards. And vendors are people who sell things. In this place, it's at the market. A gunny sack is a bag. And I don't know if you've seen shows or if you've even had like sack races, but that's a gunny sack. It's used to have salt or big bags with salt or rice, and it is strong enough for you to have races. Put your leg in and try to race. And a tin of lard is a container of fat using for cooking. As Bernardi walked toward home, he passed a shop downtown and stopped to look in the window. There, among the bright bolts of cloth and shiny pots, was a new soccer ball. It was just what he had always wanted. Bernardi pressed his face against the window and looked at the price. It was more than it cost to go to school. Slowly, Bernardi backed away from the window. He did not hum as he walked home. I think Bernardi is wishing he had that soccer ball. He looked at the price and realized that it cost more than school. He wouldn't be able to get it. That evening, Babu and Bernardi ate beans and rice by the light of the kerosene lamp. Babu put something by Bernardi's plate. Bernardi picked it up and held it closer to the light. It looked like a tin of lard. He opened the lid and heard a small tinkling sound. "A music box," Bernardi exclaimed and listened again. It was rough and tinny, but he recognized the tune. It was Babu's song. Bernardi hugged Babu, and together they listened to the music. That night, for the first time in many nights, Bernardi fell asleep listening to Babu's song. You could just see the love that this grandson and grandfather have, even without words. What do you think Babu's going to do now? What do you think Bernardi's going to do? The next Saturday was a busy one for Bernardi, as it was the day he sold toys to tourists. He set up shop on his favorite corner downtown, arranging the toys on the curb. Bernardi cranked the music box and listened to Babu's song tinkle out. He had sold a few things when a woman picked up the music box. She asked how much it was, but Bernardi said it wasn't for sale. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to finish the story. I'll reread the story tomorrow and finish the end. But what I'd like you to do right now is reflect on what you've learned and write down what you think is going to happen tomorrow. And it's such an incredible story. I don't want to give away the ending at this time. So go ahead and write. I'd like you to draw a picture of what you visualized and write what you think is going to happen, like maybe an ending. And if you want your parents to send it to me, just snap a picture and send it to me, and I will finish this tomorrow. And I will be back on here in a minute with your math, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.